So it's time to take us off this extra anchor, the V anchor. We're doing it a new way. Kelvin's winching the boat up onto it. You're nearly there, just there.
Look at how well the kedge anchor had set though.
It's a new record haul. Look at all that mud.
In order to make this anchor swap, we found ourselves a mooring block. It wasn't being used, so we tied ourselves on.
It's not even a big one. Scott's one, isn't it?
Yeah, it was upside down. Dun, 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 dun. Shiny! This is the Viking 20. Hugh did a huge amount of research when choosing a new anchor. If you want to learn more, he thoroughly recommends the YouTube channel SV Panape. Steve on that channel has done the marine world a great service over the last decade, reviewing hundreds of anchors. Our old CQR was designed in the 1930s. There are many sailors who still swear by them. However, we are not convinced. A few weeks ago in Santa Ponsa, we had several days of consistent land and sea breezes, meaning Esperance swung back and forth every afternoon and evening, almost like the turning of the tide. We were in 5 meters of crystal clear water over sand, and we watched as our anchor drew pretty patterns as it dragged back and forth across the sand. In the past, we would have let out a lot more chain. However, as the start of the main season was upon us, the anchorages were filling up and we couldn't justify having such a big swing circle. Sailors use the term scope to define the ratio between chain or rode let out to depth. It is normal practice to have something like 4 to 6 times scope, so in 5 meter depth, this would be 20 to 30 meters. In Santa Ponsa, we had 50 meters out, and our anchor was still dragging with every wind shift. This meant that with Esperance's 15 meter length, our swing circle was 130 meters, even before the extra distance required for our old CQR anchor to make up its mind and dig in and settle down. With all the summer sailors turning up, claiming a spot like that in the Balearics was nigh on impossible. Think of like pitching your tent in an overcrowded festival field, but the tents of the field keep moving. In the end, Hugh was permanently on alert, re-anchoring several times to keep us in the middle of our patch. Over the last few decades, anchor technology has leapt forward with the arrival of many new products coined super high holding power anchors. These anchors are so named as they meet the requirements of having 4 times the holding power of an equivalent weight conventional anchor. The first anchors ever used were probably just like rocks tied to a piece of rope, a heavy weight on a line to stop your boat drifting away. Boats are restricted on how big a weight that they can carry on board, and crucially, how much they can lift off the seabed to prevent their anchors becoming a single-use product. After weight, the secret to increased holding power is shape. The days of the conventional anchor shape that we all know from cartoons and tattoos has gone. The new generation of super high holding power anchors are very nifty things. They have all been designed to dig into the seabed and submerge themselves beyond as much ground as possible to add this resistance to the holding power. Much like how a very thin and weedy tent peg can hold a highly tensioned guy rope, when set properly, a modern anchor can provide much more holding than would be obtained by its mere weight alone. The next challenge for these modern anchor designs comes in the many varied conditions that need to be adapted to. Not only the possible variation in seabeds such as sand, clay, mud, shale, weed, etc., but the all-important setting and resetting. These modern anchors are a marvel. You can drop them any way up And quick as a flash, they right themselves and start digging into the ground. Then, if currents shift, they dig themselves up, dust themselves off, and dig in again with the shortest possible distance. Well, that's what their manufacturers claim anyway. And there are so many manufacturers claiming their product is top dog. That's why we turned to the aforementioned anchoring YouTube channel, SV Panopay. As you can see, Steve from the channel has tested many anchors in a variety of seafloors and conditions and given a very clear and easily interpretable score. His system is not flawless, but most agree it's an invaluable resource for those of us trying to get our heads around the topic for the first time. The reality is, any of these new modern anchors would improve our situation drastically. However, in the end, we went with the Viking 20. Not only did it score highest in Steve's tests by weight, but was one of the most affordable, and was designed by a couple who had previously cruised the Mediterranean and had got fed up with their old CQR anchor. Sounds familiar? One of Hugh's favourite features is the parallels he can draw with his own engineering background, inventing the world's first plastic trombone, where he proved that shape was crucial. Most other manufacturers recommend a 36 to 40 kilogram anchor for Esperance. Our new Viking is only 20 kilograms, but is designed to deliver equivalent holding due to its vast surface area. It has a thin, knife-like profile that cuts deep into the substrate and high tensile strength to take the loads it will be subjected to. We were very excited about this lump of metal, but no more so than Hugh and Chris from Ragdoll, who raced straight over to have a look and help with the assembly.
Weight equals performance of the 40.
Yeah,
the rock 40.
I believe it now.
Because the point is, it's not about the weight, it's about
The shape, yeah.
One of their original design concepts with the Viking, one of the things they tested early on was having this blade both ways, concave and convex.
God, it's everything I would change about the M1.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's probably about half the weight of the tip. It's a 50%.
I've got what you mean, like in terms of where
tip to weight
he
ratio.
just wants to go over, doesn't it? He's going to land. He's going to land up there. Any way it lands, it's going to end up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what the
there.
roll bar's for. Get it
And
now.
then as soon as you pull on here, it's just going to go.
Yeah.
That's going to go along the seabed being pulled like that, and that's just going to start. As soon as that starts digging,
Wow.
getting under the mud, it's going to put it into the upright position. Because that, once the mud's here, it just goes under.
We can't geek up with them.
They were geeking out big style.
But it's crazy to see 25 versus 20. It's the
Oh yeah,
difference in
that's so much
performance.
lighter. So much lighter.
And then the next problem, how are we going to mount the thing?
Start bringing that chain in, Carol.
It's well jammed up under.
Yep.
But it is.
It's not going to go anywhere, is it?
No.
You can always lash it up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be. I'm going to have a couple of these made up
Yeah.
in position. Perhaps one of them on a bungee instead.
See if you put an NA screw eye on there.
Nice.
Some great problem solving. And there it was. However, we weren't going to test it out just yet.